Well, we'd like to welcome everyone back to New Covenant Studio in Texas. New Covenant.
New Covenant.
Did I say that right? I left out a word. Group. New Covenant Group studio here in Texas. We've been giving a very difficult request this morning from our producer in Pensacola, in the studio in Pensacola. He's asked us if we could have an exciting show and
An
interesting show and not boring. And we're really going to try. I know, Stephen, I'm excited this morning. Are you?
I'm excited.
Good.
Doesn't
good.
it show?
Well, that was the next thing I was going to bring up. I'm the type of guy it's maybe kind of difficult to tell if I'm actually excited. I'll just leave it at that. Don't want to go too far with that. But hopefully we'll keep it interesting this morning. That's going to be our goal. But I'm going to start off by asking you a question.
That's not very interesting.
No, that is interesting because I know you're going to have a very interesting answer to this question.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, I'm going to make a statement to you. I know that you're a dad. You're a father. You have 3 wonderful children. They just happen to be my grandchildren. And to be quite honest with you, that makes me feel very privileged. They're wonderful children. Love them with all my heart. They're here somewhere in the studio. Hopefully, maybe they'll make some noise and we'll hear them. But in light of that, in view of that fact, I want to ask you a question. What kind of importance, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much significance does that have to you, being a dad, having the responsibility of being a father to your children?
You're asking for the importance level?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important, how significant is that to you in your grand scheme of things?
Well, I guess when my wife and I decided that we wanted children, that kind of became what life was about. Of course, we love one another and life is about us, but when our kids came in the picture, it became about them. I don't think a scale from 1 to 10 actually is large enough.
Need to go higher than that?
Oh, yeah.
How about 100?
Oh, it's much more than that.
Million?
My children are awesome, and they're everything to me. Everything that we do is for them. And we enjoy our life. We enjoy what we do for us, but it's for them. I don't know if I'm making sense there, but
yeah,
they're what life is about.
That's, to be honest with you, we didn't rehearse this, did we? I
No.
didn't ask you this beforehand. Okay. Just wanted to make sure everyone knew that. But, actually, I would like you to be a little more specific. When we talk about everything being about them, how do you mean exactly? You just want to spoil them and give them everything that they ask for, or are you talking about something possibly? Can you be a little more specific on this?
Well, my children are a part of me. When they hurt, I hurt. When they're sad, I'm sad. When they're in need, I'm in need even more because I'm giving them everything, other than myself. I want everything for my kids. I want them to always be fed, always be clothed, always be happy, always have everything they need, not necessarily everything they want.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't work that way. But I don't know. That's a difficult question to describe, a difficult answer to give, because I don't think words can truly express how I feel about my children. I don't know.
Would you say it's a good question to give a lot of thought to, a lot of consideration to, in being as what you're stating. I believe you. I believe you're telling me the truth. that they're possibly the most some of the most important aspect of your life. And so, how exactly to accomplish being a father, would it be safe to say, for example, that you want the best for them that life has to offer in every way? Would that be a safe assumption?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure they have the best that I can give them, and I most of the time still don't feel like that's good enough, but
Yeah,
that's all I have is the best that I can give, and that's what they're going to have is the best that I can give, and hopefully from there they'll become even better on their own.
well, you've already expressed, that not necessarily everything they want. That's just, to me, an example of honesty in what we have in this life, what we have to deal with day in and day out, so to speak. We may want things to go a certain way. We may want certain things from life, financially, mentally. We want to enjoy as much as we can. But, you've been around long enough now, and I've been around a lot longer to know that everything is not going to go the way we plan. It's not going to go the way we necessarily want it to. There are going to be times of struggle. There are going to be times where we may even feel like we don't have what we need. There may be times where we don't actually have what we need. But your children are going to be facing these things, so you want to give them a well-rounded realization of what life is about, and at the same time give them everything within your ability to make it good for them so that they can enjoy life to the fullest.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my main goal for them is to push them to be who they are. And to do that, they need to know how to think for themselves. They need to know how to become in tune with who they are. And I'm just going to be there to support them as they figure it out and push them and try and teach them at least what's important to me, which is education, growth, love, family,
Yeah.
community, and I'll do my best to instill those things in them for their good. I don't want to do anything to harm them, and I don't want to make them any certain way, but I know what's important to me in life, and I want them to understand that as well. And hopefully it's as important to them, education and community and, things of that nature. And then I want them to be their own individuals and grow in that and be who they are, fit their part.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hear kind of an undertone in that in order to accomplish everything that you've just stated, it has a lot to do with their relationship with others, how they relate to people, and in expressing themselves as being who they are, because obviously to live this life, it's all about relating to others. And I'm actually going somewhere with this, trying to make it as interesting as I can.
We've only got 10 minutes, so
we've only got
get there
10 minutes. No, okay, I better get on with it then. You as a dad, I don't know that you could give any better answers than you have, and like I said, I didn't give any forewarning, so you weren't able to list what would be the best answers and give those. But I'm around you enough, and I see the way you operate that I believe everything you're telling me is true. I see that. I see that coming from you. But you've also admitted that, doing the best you can do, which never seems to be good enough in your estimation. And I can certainly identify with that. Well, we still haven't necessarily settled on the name for this show that what exactly to call it. But as far as I know, I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to keep it interesting. We still call it Mr. Furlow's neighborhood. And in my neighborhood, that's what I want to see, not just from you, but from everyone who actually has the privilege, and I count it a privilege, to be a dad, to be a father. I've been that now for getting close to 40 years. And that has been one of my goals the whole time, is to give what I can as a father to my children to make their lives the best it can be. Now, as far as I'm concerned, and this is the things that I want to express on what little time we have on Sunday mornings. We're a group here, New Covenant group, that refers to ourselves as not being church. And there's a reason for that. We're trying to disconnect ourselves with all the ideas that go along with what people think when they hear the term church. And I have a very personal reason for that, because if I had this thing to do again, this whole thing of raising children, knowing what I know now, it would be quite different. And I feel like even in your case, you would have had a much greater advantage. And it really thrills me to know that you're going to have such a better opportunity with your children than what I had with mine, because of what you have to work with. You're not in a box any longer. You're not under a set of rules thinking you've got to meet a certain criteria. And I was thinking about it this morning. I know that personally I still struggle with some of these issues. And I want to encourage you in one thing that you've stated. What you give your children is good enough, because it's what you have, and your desire is to give them the best. And you can only do that with what you have, and you're moving forward in what you can offer them as you grow and as you learn more and as you become actually more enabled. I'm going to use that term to be a good father. And that's what I'm doing also.
Well, in the same terms, I want to encourage you in the same way. I hear a lot of times in person and on the show where you have stated your shortcomings in the past. But it's okay. We all have them. The point is to look back, to not make the same mistakes, but continue to move forward. There's no reason to let the past things that you've done hold you back.
Right. Exactly.
This is an ongoing process, and we're all moving forward. So that's the important part. Well, the mistakes along the way are just learning opportunities.
Yeah. That's one of the things I appreciate most about New Covenant Group, is we are a group of people that we may not always know what we're doing, or, we're not claiming that we've arrived at something and everyone needs to fall into this pattern that we've come up with. We're moving forward. And I think that is obvious to the ones who actually get involved with us, which is the numbers are increasing, and I'm very thankful for that. But I want to make one point, possibly in closing. I don't know how much time we have.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Oh, I think I can do it then. Because this is not something that we're going to cover with any depth at this time. I just want to throw it out there. There's a man named Paul that wrote some letters, and unfortunately, these letters were put in a book, and we call it the Bible, and someone acclaimed that this is the inerrant Word of God. But I just want to mention something that apparently, and it was attributed to him, it may not have even been him that stated this, but it was something that was found, it was discovered, it was written, that I do want to contend that there is at least some, and if not some major validity to it, and that is it's a statement that he made. And before I even make it, I want to say that we have a song that is actually attributed to my lovely wife, who I'm looking at right now, that she wrote. And I'm hoping that within the next short time, whether it be next week or within the next few weeks, we can offer this song on the show, because I love it. I think it's wonderful. But the words are very simple and yet profound, and they say something about, and it, like I say, this is attributed to the Apostle Paul, as far as I know. And he states, there's one God and Father of all, who is over all, through all, and in all. The thing I like about this statement is that it's found in most Bibles. the thing that people claim to be the inerrant Word of God. But it speaks of a father, number one who is fatherly toward his children. And the context seems to demand that he's referring to all, which would be each and every one of us. And in questioning you about the importance, the significance, and your goal as a father, to say that, and you admit, that there's going to be failures. You'll do the best you can, and we've agreed that it'll be good enough, that it is good enough. But there's always room for improvement. There's room for growth. And let me just state this, and it'll be sufficient for now. In my estimation, I've been a believer in God. I've been a theist, I suppose, all of my life. But this God in my mind that I've come to, or that I feel like I've come to know and understand, is clearer now than ever. And it has everything to do with fathering. A love like you're expressing toward your children. And to have that in the back of my mind, to think of one loving me like that, basically unconditionally. Yeah, you're going to make mistakes, but you're my son. You're my child. Just motivates me like none else. I mean, I know what it's like, and it seems a shame here, and I know it doesn't go far enough, because we're talking about fathers as if the mother issue is not a factor, but somehow or another, I think they're intertwined. I mean, there's a combination there that goes beyond male and female, because I know that your wife has just as much to do with these children as you do, if not more.
much more. I tell you what, I would not be a good father without my wife.
Yeah. So when we speak of fatherhood, I do not want to leave that out of it, because I know that there's as much significance, like we said, or even more. But that's where I'm at. I'm just expressing where I'm at in relating to God and what we have. We can look at one another. We can learn from one another in this. And more, like I said, I'm just encouraged to know that I'm loved to this degree. And, I'd like to pass that along to as many as I can. We're all loved in that way, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think I'm very thankful that I'm not required to live up to expectations anymore.
Yeah.
Not only of my earthly father, but we were raised that you had to live up to God's expectations. The problem is that those expectations are what we expected that He would expect.
Yeah.
But I'm just free to be myself now, and that's how I'm going to raise my children, because I'm happy. I'm truly happy where I am. Of course, I want to go farther. I want to grow more. I want to become more educated. My wife and I are both in school, and trying to reach certain goals in our life and set a good example for our children of the importance of education and growth and moving forward. And it's a difficult task. It's a lot of work to raise 3 children and to work and to go to school full time. And we're doing it somehow. We're making it through.
It's good.
But we're enjoying it. It's an awesome experience. The outcome, I believe, is going to be great. So we're just enjoying life right now, and it's because of the freedom we feel from what you were talking about. Yeah, what you were talking about earlier is not being pressured to the mold of church and religion and things like that. It's just free to be who we are.
Yeah. Well, we all have potential, and so much of it is hindered by, this box that certain ones would like to put us in and say you can't go beyond these perimeters. And thank God many people have gone beyond those particular perimeters, or we would still live in the dark ages completely. But hopefully, as we move forward, we can join more and more people together and find out what our potential is collectively. I think that's the goal, and we plan to continue to pursue it. What's our time look like?
It's closing time.
Okay. Well, we did good then, as far as that's a good stopping point. So. Well, I appreciate you being here with me and expressing, I think, what is your heart. I mean, concerning your children. And all I can say is, continue. Looking forward to growing together and just seeing things continue to move forward.
Me too.
And at this time, I suppose we'll say goodbye for now from Texas and enjoy the next show that'll be on in about another 5 or 10 minutes. We're looking forward to it. Okay.